Welcome to Encinitas, where we're all
Okay, welcome to the May Environmental Commission meeting. And we will start with the roll call.
Commission Chair Kramer,
Present.
Commission Vice Chair O'Connor,
Here.
Commissioner Switzler,
Here.
and Commissioner Bruner.
Here.
Let the record show that we have a quorum with 4 commissioners present and Commissioners Wick, Parker, and Fletcher absent.
Thank you. And do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda.
Great. Any oral communications?
The pledge.
Oh, excuse me. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Anyone like to lead?
Sure, I will do it.
Thank you. Okay. And do we have any oral communications?
There are no oral communications.
Okay. No presentations, it looks like, either. So would anyone like to approve the minutes from last month's meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Then we can move along to informational items. We have an update on the city's local building reach codes that promote greenhouse gas reduction from Ryan Lampkin, Sustainability Analyst. Thanks, Ryan.
Yes, thank you, and good evening, commissioners. I hope you're all doing well. So I'll be presenting on our REACH code implementation and building decarbonization in Encinitas. So my presentation this evening will give a brief background on the city's local REACH code, and then I'll go over how we've been doing on actually implementing the REACH code. Then I'll present some of the 2024 building decarbonization data that we have available, and I'll have some time for questions at the end of my presentation. So starting with a bit of background, why is the city pursuing building decarbonization? The main driver for building decarb in Encinitas is our climate action plan measures, which drive the building decarbonization policy. And those include BE 1, 2, 3, and 4, with the most with the most substantial being BE 2 and 4, which require decarbonization of new construction in the city. And the reason that we are aiming to decarbonize buildings is because they account for nearly 40% of greenhouse gas emissions in Encinitas. And so when we have all-electric buildings in the city and we supply those all-electric buildings with renewable electricity, those buildings are zero emissions, which is amazing for implementing our climate action plan. And so to satisfy these measures related to building decarbonization in the CAP, we have a comprehensive set of what we call REACH codes. So What is a REACH code? The state of California has a code or a standard for energy efficiency and green building. And these codes apply to all development throughout the state. However, local governments can adopt energy efficiency and green building codes that have higher standards, which aim to further reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And so you can see in the graphic there is the state's building code and the greenhouse gas reductions associated with the state's energy efficiency requirements. And as a local government, we can add more requirements. It's kind of how in the figure here, she's reaching beyond and adding more on top of it, and that increases our greenhouse gas emission reductions. And at the bottom of that chart, you see it's 23, 24, 25. This is because the state has a 3-year building code cycle. And what this graph doesn't show is in the 2025 California Building Code, the greenhouse gas reductions the state can claim could go even further and kind of encroach into what we have, because eventually the state could adopt the same, what we have as a REACH code could become a statewide standard. And so this here is the REACH code evolution here in Encinitas. So for many years, we've had a set of REACH codes. So the first being gray water systems in 2015, and then we have a small solar system code requirement, and then we adopted those in subsequent years. And 2019 was really when we started to have a large set of REACH codes, and that include the new single-family EV readiness requirements, multifamily EV ready requirements, and commercial or non-residential EV requirements. And then we added in 2021, in the middle of the building code, requirements for all electric new construction, non-residential solar, and energy efficiency retrofits. We then had to readopt all of those REACH codes, as we have to do every time there's a new code cycle, and that was effective January 1, 2023 for the 2022 building code cycle. And as you all know, we had to suspend our all-electric requirement, and so now we are here today, where we are still in the 22 building code cycle, and we have since suspending the all-electric requirement, adopted the higher performance requirement for single-family and low-rise multifamily homes. And so how do applicants show us that they are actually fulfilling the REACH code? So when applicants come in for their building permit, they fill out the CAP checklist. Formerly, this was referred to as the Green Building Checklist. And our city plan reviewers ensure that the CAP checklist is accurately filled out, and every trigger that that project has for some of our different REACH codes, they're actually doing. So certain components of the REACH code have certain triggers, right? So if it's an ADU, it doesn't have to do gray water, but if it's a single family home, it has to do gray water. And so our plan reviewers just ensure that that's accurately filled out. And then when the applicant is constructing their project, they're installing and including the measures identified in the CAP checklist. And so now I'll go over how we've been doing on implementing the REACH code. So like I said, the Green Building Checklist is now referred to as the CAP checklist. And this is really to differentiate it from the statewide Cal Green checklist. We had a lot of applicants who would be confused, and they're like, why are you making me do this? I already filled this out here. And we would have to explain that it's a different set of requirements that the city has, not the state requirements. So that's been one of the recent changes that we had. We also are requiring the CAP checklist to be included on our building plans instead of as a separate attachment. So this is a small nuance if you aren't in the weeds on this every day, but really the reason that we changed this procedure is because our building inspectors, when they're in the field, they only have access on their iPads to the applicant's plans. They don't see every single attachment that they included on their permit record. So this way we can ensure when the inspectors go into the field that they see what they are supposed to be installing on the CAP checklist, and they can verify that that was actually installed. And so with that, we've also been working to hold various trainings for the building inspectors and make sure that there's no knowledge gaps and them implementing the REACH code. Recently, we updated and redesigned our webpage to make it a little bit easier to find some information. And we've been creating and releasing a series of public videos for the REACH code to educate applicants on the requirements. So I'll be presenting the first of the 3 videos that we have. The other 2 go over how, step by step, how to fill out the CAP checklist if you are a single-family project or a multifamily project. So the first video is sort of our climate mission statement, so I will present that now.
Welcome to Encinitas, where we're all about riding the wave towards a greener, more sustainable future. I'm Chris Cote, and I'd like to share how Encinitas is leading the region in bold climate action and taking steps to protect our environment. In order to achieve our mission, we need the support of community members like you. Together, let's explore how we can make our city more sustainable through energy efficiency and green building.
My name is Katie Kramer, and I'm the chair of the Encinitas Environmental Commission. The city of Encinitas has joined over 1,400 jurisdictions worldwide in declaring a climate emergency. The urgency is clear. We need to ramp up sustainability efforts and protect the overall quality of life for our community.
My name is Darby Berry, and I'm the director of the San Diego Regional Climate Collaborative. The San Diego Regional Climate Collaborative's mission is to support our members, like the city of Encinitas, to enable climate action. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions through energy efficiency measures here in Encinitas, we can ensure a high quality of life for all residents in San Diego.
The city's climate action plan sets a long-term vision for preserving our environment, ensuring a sustainable future for generations to come. The plan is a guide for reducing community-wide greenhouse gas emissions by targeting sources such as building energy consumption, transportation, and solid waste. With buildings accounting for nearly 40% of all greenhouse gas emissions in Encinitas, the homes we live in play a crucial role in our path to decarbonization. It's time to take action and make a difference. To tackle this challenge, Encinitas is raising the bar for energy performance in new residential buildings. Our new green building ordinance ensures new homes will be more energy efficient, encouraging all-electric construction and greatly reducing greenhouse gas emissions overall. Depending on the type of project, there are multiple ways to meet the new energy efficiency requirements, from adding extra insulation or rooftop solar to opting for an all-electric home. The ordinance encourages the use of advanced technologies such as induction cooktops and heat pump water heaters. These innovations not only reduce carbon emissions, but also enhance the comfort and efficiency of your home. It's all about finding the right fit for your project.
People choose to live in Encinitas for its beauty and quality of life. Electrification and energy efficiency measures ensure clean air and a more sustainable community for all. The benefits of electrification not only include improved indoor and outdoor air quality, but also significant cost savings when combined with rooftop solar.
Hear what some Encinitas locals have to say about their experience.
Living in Encinitas, it's one of the few cities that put forth an electrification REACH code and has a great climate action plan, is very forward-thinking, is amazing.
A real energy efficient house means you use whatever energy or water things that you bring in, the best way to get the most results from that. It's using stuff without waste.
A green home costs less to run. It's going to last longer. It has durable materials, and it's going to have good indoor air quality, so it's going to be healthier and it's going to be more comfortable. I am committed to the green building because of so many benefits to it. People have a perception that it's going to cost them a lot more money, and it's really not true. I've studied green building, and I try to bring that to the clients that by these little details you can vastly improve your home and make it less expensive and more comfortable and healthy.
Creating a healthy home is the difference between something being a house as a structure and a home being something that's a healthy environment. So to meet the city's local ordinance codes, as well as to hit all of the goals and objectives, we've implemented a number of measures. We're incorporating solar and storage into the house. We're bringing in heat pump technology for our HVAC. We're putting a heat pump in with our water heater to be able to, utilize all of those natural resources as much as we can. We're also going to be collecting rainwater from the back of the house so that we can turn a resource and an obstacle into an opportunity that gives them a budget to be able to do some gardening and landscaping that they want to do. And being being able to look at all of the different rebates, incentives, and everything that's down here that's available. We can figure out a way to be able to make whatever changes are within somebody's reach even more accessible. It's the difference between feeling like you have no ability to do something and the empowerment that there are things that you can do.
Encinitas is leading the way in sustainability. Together, we can achieve a more sustainable future for our beautiful city.
All right. Thank you, Chair Kramer, for being in that video. And so, like I said, the next two parts are coming soon. We're finalizing those in the next couple weeks. So those will be really great for applicants to just easily be able to follow along and understand how to fill out the checklist. Oops. And so now I'll present the 2024 building decarbonization data that we have available. So this will be included in the annual report as well, but we have it now, so might as well present it right now. And so in 2024, Encinitas saw 89 new all-electric buildings finalized, or they were constructed and people are now able to live in those buildings. And so 58 of those were multifamily and 31 were single family or detached ADUs. And so that is compared to a mixed fuel home, 44 metric tons of CO2 equivalent avoided annually. And that's approximately 44 acres of forest, how much that sequesters annually. So just as a comparison for you. And so that's approximately 58% of all ADUs that were finalized in that year were all electric, and 30% of all new single-family, multifamily were constructed all electric. And so it's important to note that it takes time for our REACH code to catch up. A lot of these projects take years to actually go through the permitting process, get constructed and finalized. And so 51%, or more than half of all buildings that were finalized in 2024 came in for their permit prior to when we had the REACH code. And so when they come in for their permit, everything that's applicable at that date is all that they would have to do. So if we adopted the REACH code the next day after they came in, they don't have to do it. So that's, I think, one reason why we're it's 30% as opposed to something higher. So over the next few years, we're expecting there to be far more all-electric buildings, especially with the REACH codes that we have. And so, yeah, you could see on the graph on the right about 65% chose not to be all-electric. And so that concludes my presentation. Any questions from the commission?
I had one question. How about like remodels? Do remodels also, do those codes apply?
Yeah, so for remodels, we have our energy efficiency ordinance. And so the way that works is if it's a remodel more than, and the permit valuation is more than $50,000, then they have to install an energy efficiency retrofit. And we have a list of different measures that they can install. So it's anything from LED and vacancy sensors and one other lighting feature, or they can install a heat pump. So it's really up to them what sounds best for their
Okay,
needs.
but it's like the value of the permit then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I'm curious, how would you ever capture, like, my lifestyle? I've gone to electric heat and not my gas heater, and then I'm cooking on an induction cooker instead of my gas stove, pretty much. How would you ever capture that reduction in, without me getting a permit and remodeling and that kind of thing, or would you?
Yeah, so you're saying if someone basically didn't have, they had transitioned to all electric and they didn't get permits for it, yeah, it would be hard for us to know that. But I think one way we might be tracking, electrification in the future is with SDG&E data, since they have all that information, and they could see, how much our natural gas consumption is going down in the city. So that might be the way to go.
They sent me a notice that I'm one of the higher users of electric energy in Encinitas. So they have plug-in electric car, electric bike, electric golf cart, electric heater, electric stove. So, yeah.
All electric.
I haven't bought gas for my vehicle in a long time. So
I think those reductions would be captured next time we do a greenhouse gas inventory, right? That's how we would know that like you did that basically. I mean, it'd be in the grand scheme of things, but yeah.
Yeah, that's one way we can capture it. And then I think if we wanted to drill in more specifically to electrification data rather than the emissions data, we would likely look at the natural gas consumption itself instead of doing the emission factor like we would with the inventory, if that makes sense.
Do the REACH codes for new builds effectively result in an all-electric requirement?
So they don't have to, and I have seen some cases with our newest high-performance REACH code where it is a mixed fuel building. Just to share anecdotally, I've noticed that because the way it works is it's the energy, I don't know the acronym, but it's their EDR value. It has to be a certain threshold. And what gets them a lot of points is actually battery storage. So I've noticed some mixed fuel buildings and they install the battery storage and they meet the EDR requirement. But the easiest way, because battery storage is a lot more expensive than just being all electric. So that's not the the predominant way that people are satisfying the ordinance, but I've seen that come up. So it's not 100% all electric with our new requirement.
the other irritation was I have solar on my house, so I'm putting energy into the grid, and I'm like, what else do you want me to do? So.
One last question from me. Some of the new larger kind of development projects, the apartment buildings, like the, 300 plus unit buildings, will those fall under the REACH codes, or are they grandfathered in? Like I'm thinking, like for example, like the Sunshine Gardens one. Do you know the status of that?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay.
One example I use is Fox Point Farms. They had their project before we had the REACH code, so they would be. That's an example, like I was talking about earlier, where if they came in before we had the code, then they don't have to comply with the recent code update. So.
Yeah, that's what made me think about it. My mom just moved into Fox Point, and they have a gas stove. God, they didn't want it, but they didn't have a choice, really. Yeah, but it'll happen with the next wave of development. A great presentation, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks. Are you sure?
Yeah, no, you answered it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Then. We're moving on to action items. So we're going to get update on the progress of our work plan and our commission calendar from Ryan. Thanks.
Yes, Crystal is not here, so I am giving the update on the work plan. And so, as you all know, this is just the work. I'll give updates on the progress that we've made since the last update. So let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. For project number 1, commission outreach and representation, we have Ciclovia coming up. That's next Sunday. Sustainability staff has our own booth, so if any of the commissioners are interested, feel free to reach out to Crystal or myself or Aoife Maxwell, our Civic Spark Fellow. If you haven't met her, she'll be the one who's going to be at the table. And then we have EcoFest coming up June 1st. Our staff also has a booth for that. So if you're interested in tabling with us, let us know. And then project number 2, the Environmental Awards Program. As you all know, the awards were presented to the winners on the April 23rd City Council meeting. So congratulations.
Can I add something to one real fast?
Yes.
BCK had invited us all to the farm lab out on Quail Gardens, and I went Monday. Absolutely amazing what they teach to kindergarten through 6 on campus there, and then they come in for a day or a week from various, I think, 12 schools in the area. And then the projects that they presented were all over the place, from hydroponics to solar to beach pollution. It was absolutely amazing and uplifting what those young people are doing. So I recommend if we get the invite again next year, go. The mayor was there. I was happy to see him taking that all in too.
So the next project is the native plant policy. So the consultants and city staff are preparing the final draft of the ordinance, and that'll be published on our website for public review. And a community workshop is being held to receive final comments. That hasn't been scheduled yet, but follow on the native plant ordinance webpage for any updates on that. And for Project 4, the mobility element update. So the consideration of for City Council for the draft mobility element is ready to go to a future City Council meeting, and it'll be an informational item for City staff to gather feedback from the City Council and receive direction on the element update. Okay, project number 5, the 5-year climate action plan update. So, as you all know, the draft cap was published for public comment, and we've been doing our cap roadshow to all the various commissions. And a public workshop was held on April 8th, and we've been working to compile all of the public comments and commission comments that we've received. There is interest from city staff and city council to do a cost-benefit analysis prior to adopting the climate action plan. And so we're currently working on the contract amendment with the consultant to add this to their scope. And so we'll be taking that to council on May 28th, and then we'll be able to proceed with the benefit cost analysis and the cap update from there, essentially. Okay, so for Green Building Incentive Program, I don't see anything here in red, but I just wanted to note that our revisions are nearing completion, and you can expect sometime soon for the subcommittee members to meet with city staff and go over the changes to the incentive program. Okay, so for project number 8, Zero Waste, Paul Meckler and EDCO staff are scheduled to present to the commission on the June 2025 commission meeting. And then project number 10, the food service plastic ordinance. So the subcommittee is looking to meet with the new council members, and we'll, let's see.
There's a correction in the date.
Okay. Could you share that? Sorry.
It got pushed back a week, June 18th.
Okay. Okay, so we're targeting the June 18th city council meeting. Okay. All right, and
we did meet with Councilmember Schaefer. Was that last week? Yeah, just to talk over the concept for the food service ordinance amendment. So we reached out to Mayor Eilers and Councilmember Schaefer, and then provided some information to Councilmember O'Hara, who wasn't able to make the meeting. So, and then we'll present the concept to the City Council on June 18th.
Thanks for helping me out with that one.
No,
Not as familiar with that.
There's one other related thing. It's also related to zero waste, but there's kind of in tandem with this, there is a desire to put green bins, compost bins out in public spaces. And I know Paul Meckler will talk with us about that in June, but the current idea is it would be a pilot project in a kind of targeted area, maybe Moonlight Beach was one area, or somewhere on the 101. And so that sounds like it's making its way through city staff machinations, and it actually is in the works.
All right, so next is Project 11, Bee City USA. So our first Bee City annual report was completed and submitted in April, and our Bee City membership was renewed. I was looking earlier, and I don't see where they have the annual report listed on their website. I think they compile all of the reports that they get each year from all their different member agencies, and then release those for public review. So I would just track that on their website over the next few months.
I'll add one quick thing there too. being on that subcommittee, there's a grassroots effort in San Diego County to create a pollinator plate, like the fireman plate and the whale tail. And that's at the grassroots basic baby steps now, identifying supporters and stuff and elected officials to help push that along. So that would create funding to come back to local cities to, and organizations to improve habitat and things for all pollinators.
All right, so next we have Project 12, the Environmentally Preferable Purchasing and Contracting Policy. So city staff have received some direction from our interim director, the assistant city manager, on how to approach this and some internal improvements to implementing the policy. So we're ready to reconvene with this subcommittee, and so Crystal will be reaching out soon for that. Okay, and so that concludes all of the updates to the work plan. Are there any other comments before I move on?
I was just going to say the award ceremony was before this meeting and after the last one. And the 4 winners with their families and stuff, I've never seen happier faces to receive the awards that they deservedly were recognized for. It was a real pleasure to be here and see that happen. And yeah, it's a great part of what we do.
Okay, so now I'll go over the commission calendar. So
I think we might need to approve the work plan now. Right, okay.
Yes,
I will make
okay.
a motion to approve the work plan.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, so now I'll go over the commission calendar. So for May, the commission does not adopt a work plan this year because it's every 2 years. So coming up, we have Ciclovia, like I mentioned, May 18th, and then EcoFest on June 1st. So let us know if you're interested in attending those. And then in July, the commission does not meet, and it's in alignment with the city council's recess. Do we approve this too?
No, I don't think we have
Okay.
to approve that. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Ryan.
Quick point of order for the record, Commissioner Fletcher is present.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, do we have any commissioner-initiated action agenda items? Looks like no. Any updates of interest? Updates on item of interest?
I've got 2. Saturday is the street stewards. If you remember that presentation we had, quite a few commissioners are part of that, and some other people now joining, and one of those is a new captain, and she's picked a meeting at Just Peachy down there on the 101 on the north end, and there'll be a cleanup of 101 about 9 o'clock this Saturday. And then Surfrider on the 17th Saturday has between 9 and 11 at Moonlight Beach, their monthly cleanup.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, any other updates? Okay, any future commissioner-initiated agenda items? All right, everyone, thank you. That, I guess we get adjourned.
I don't think it was a new record, but it was.
Failure.